Good morning everyone, welcome back to Mo Time. I hope you're having a great day so far. We are back in Brisbane here and it's another beautiful day again. We've got lovely spring weather here in Brisbane at the moment. So we're back at a property here that I recently did a video on, just mowing the Sir Walter here. I hope you enjoyed it. I found it a little relaxing. But yeah, so we're back here to trim the hedges. So today's video is just going to be basically a little general educational video on how to trim hedges. If you're new to hedging, you bought a property or you've planted hedges, then this is just a bit of a broad general educational video on the how-tos of trimming a hedge, what not to do, what to do, and what to sort of keep in your mind while you're going along trimming. So yeah, so stay tuned. Hope you learned something from today's video. I did also do a video recently on how to lay turf, so you can go and catch that one on my channel as well. But yeah, hang around and hopefully you learn some things. Any comments you have or questions, put them down below. Make sure you subscribe and like to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss out on upcoming educational videos. But yeah, hope you're all staying safe and staying well, and let's get stuck into the hedging. Quick tip when trimming hedges, if you're new to hedging, the first thing I like to do when bringing a hedge down, or even just cutting a hedge, regardless whether you're bringing it down a couple of feet or not, is give yourself a guide. So I make some cuts at the start of the hedge, about a metre along, and then get down to the level of where we're at here. As you can see, we're down at the level of where I've cut it to, and just making sure that we're keeping it straight and level, and it's down to the height we want it to be at. So give yourself a cutting guide, and that way when you're on your ladder, if you're using a ladder or even if you're standing on the ground, get down to the eye level so you can look along the hedge and make sure you're keeping a nice straight line. There are some guys that use a string line, but that isn't always an easy case, and that's more setting up to do and just more time. So yeah, what I like to do is make some cuts first, get your guide on, and then go from there, and just keep stopping every couple of meters and getting down to that eye level, checking the level and making sure you're staying straight. And if you do start to dip, most people who are learning to hedge for the first time or are trying to cut through some really thick branches, you will end up with some dips and end up with a bit of a wavy hedge at the end of it. So to avoid that, just keep stopping every couple of meters, checking your height, checking your cuts, and going from there. But yeah. Alright guys, quick tip number 2. So I'm doing along the fascia of this hedge, and just a quick tip. So as you can see, I'm standing on the side of the cut area already. So when you're cutting a hedge, you want to be always standing generally on the cut side of the hedge, moving forward as you go. If you're standing over on this side where this hasn't been cut yet, when you're trying to get close and follow your line, you're going to be running into all this other stuff, and you might get some thick branches that'll knock your machine or whatnot, and you can you know, move your blade and end up putting a chunk out of your hedge down here where you're trying to make it all nice and clean. So yeah, quick tip is to always stay on the side of the hedge that's already been trimmed. That way there's no branches or anything sticking out that might knock your machine, causing an indent or a cutout where you don't want it, and yeah, it'll really stand out at the end of the day. So yeah, that's quick tip number 2. Alright guys, so tip number 3, so I was hedging along and come across quite a thick branch here. Now, for the new beginners, don't push your hedger to cut branches than what it actually can do. A lot of people push hedges to trim bigger branches than what they're actually designed for and the width of the blades are. So don't overcook your hedger and try cut through branches that it just can't do. So when I hit branches like that, you've easily got a chainsaw to do, or get yourself some loppers. So easy case. Let's wait for the blower to go. So yeah, so get yourself some loppers, and that way you're not damaging your hedge blades or anything like that, okay? Okay, there we go, that one's off. Yeah, far too thick for a hedge trimmer. guys, tip number 4 is when you are having to trim a hedge and use a ladder, and you're in a tight space such as I'm about to be next to a pool. This is the kind of width that I'm working with right next to the pool. So yeah, pretty tight, and my ladder, I know, fits here just, but it only just fits here because I've trimmed the fascia part of the hedge first. So yeah, so there's your 4th tip. Always trim the fascia part of the hedge if you're having to use a ladder to go up. That way you can get your ladder in nice and close to the hedge. If you need to reach back, if you've got quite a deep hedge, you can get that a little bit closer, an extra foot or whatnot, which can make all the difference in actually reaching the back of your hedge that you need to get to. So yeah, always trim the fascia first. That'll create a wider gap for you to put your ladder nice and tight up against the hedge, and then you're able to reach back to the back of the hedge a bit easier. So yeah, tip number 4, guys. Oh my gosh, knackered. Tip number 5. So don't always feel like you have to rake up all the leaves, okay? Blowing the leaves back onto the garden, if you haven't properly mulched your garden already, if you blow them back onto the garden, they will become mulch. They will break down slowly over time, but a nice thick pile of leaves on top of your garden is good mulch, and you haven't had to pay for it. So yeah, don't be afraid to rake them, blow them back onto your garden, and that just creates more mulch around your trees, retaining more water and not letting the sunlight suck it up. So yeah, tip number 5. Alright guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for tuning in and watching. I hope you learned a few tips and tricks with trimming a hedge if you're a beginner. If you're not, I hope you just enjoy watching a good Murraya hedge trim. But yeah, make sure you subscribe and like, and hit that notification bell as well, just to keep up to date with more upcoming videos. I've also got another one coming up on part 2 of the lawn and garden renovation I did on the previous, my first few videos. So we're going to be hitting that one soon, and that video will be out soon. There's a bit of laying turf going on in that video as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, like this video if you did. Any comments below would be appreciated, negative or positive. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks guys.